Welcome to the Work, Wealth, and Travel podcast. I'm your host, Nicole, and this podcast is your guide to start creating a lifestyle by design. From entrepreneurship, money and finance, taxes and residencies, and everything in between, this show highlights the nuances of a true global citizen lifestyle. Let's dive in. I'm accompanied by Mostafa, and we're going to be diving into all things residency, banking, company formations in the Middle East, which is where he is located. So before we dive in, Mustapha, tell us a little bit about yourself and your background and what it is that you do and how you're so familiar with all of these options in the Middle East.
Thank you, Nicole, first for the invite, and happy to be with you today. Just to present briefly myself to the audience, I'm a business consultant based in Dubai for over 20 years. And I pride myself that I have helped over thousands of investors and corporates to enter or to expand their businesses in the UAE. So just like in brief, this is what I have been doing for over 2 decades.
Love it. How amazing. So let's hear a little bit about, I guess to start us off, I want to hear a little bit about the lifestyle aspect in the Middle East, the countries that you have traveled to, and what the life is like there for anybody who has not been or who is thinking of going to visit.
Okay, so when we speak about the Middle East, like I know, like you're coming from, let's say North or South America, it's actually like a little bit different from the Middle East. Like lots of people, they have this kind of propaganda, like Middle East is conservative. People, they don't know, they a little bit close-minded and so on and so forth. But when you come to the reality, like the Middle East and the Arab culture, so very open. Will come in. So and more than that, like the economy and the culture are so rich. So to shorten this, let's say, for example, now since we're speaking about UAE or Saudi, so there are many things that are happening, a lot of projects underway and big transformation. And I believe it's worth visiting before you give any prejudgment. So there are a lot of things to explore and discover. And by the way, like let's say, for example, Dubai, we have over 200 nationalities that they cohabit, live nicely in the country, enjoying the weather, business, and food. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And I think, a lot of countries in Latin America as well, where I've been for quite a few years now, it's the same. You see things on the news and it's just not the reality of truly living in that country and being on the ground. So I think to really get the true understanding and a true feeling, you have to go live there or at least stay there for more of an extended period of time. I say at least 1 or 2 months at the very minimum.
Yeah, I think also what's good also is here, like it's more about the safety and security of these countries. It's also like for women, like if you have your family, you don't worry about them, about your kids, about your wife. So they can like be outside. So the rate of crime is so low. So it's really a safe, secure environment. And as I said, it's very dynamic. A lot of things happened. Also, the quality of living is so high. And I believe, if you don't try, if you don't come and live the experience, so you will never have a taste of it.
Definitely. So let's dive into, I think the first topic that I want to talk about is residency options in the Middle East in general. So this can be UAE or if there are any other potentially interesting options. But I think this is where most people start when they are looking to move to any new country is what does the residency programs, what do they look like?
Okay, let's focus now since the topic is mainly about UAE. Like UAE is a sought after destination. So lots of people are coming like on a daily basis to explore, to see the opportunities. In the past, like the basic formula was whether to find a job. And in this case, you can be like a resident in the country or to set up a company. And so before it was like these are the straightforward options. But I believe since 2019, so there have been many changes in the immigration system. So they have introduced many programs for long-term residencies. Now, like in the UAE, so you can be, for example, a resident for 10 years, renewable, so whether through, let's say, buying a property, or you are like a qualified executives earning more than $10,000, or having a company like with a certain, you can say, turnover per year. So there are many now incentives for long term, we can say, programs to attract and also to retain talents within the country.
And what do you see the more popular options being? So let's say an entrepreneur wants to come, they want to start a business. What would an option look like for them? Because a lot of the listeners are probably more so in that boat than they would be an executive working for a company.
To be honest, since as I said, like I've been in this market for many years, so the easiest way that has been applicable for many years, people they come, they open, let's say, a free zone or a mainland company. That later on we'll speak about it, the differences, how to set up a mainland or a free zone company. So as entrepreneur, you come, you like within a couple of days, you have your own company, and then you can be a resident. Before it was 3 years, now it's 2 years. So this it can be like as a starting point. Later on, now we have seen these investors. Now they start looking for something long term. And in this case, now, for example, if you buy a property with a value of 2 million dirhams, then you can be eligible to apply for this long term visa, golden visa for 10 years. So I have seen before people they come just like trying the market through a company setup, but now I have seen as well many entrepreneurs they start seeing the market not just for short or mid-term, but more believing that they can settle down like for many years.
Yeah, I love that. And there's so many beneficial places, countries in the world, and the UAE is definitely one of them. And it's a lifestyle that I know resonates with many people, and some it doesn't, which is totally fine. There's a country out there and a continent out there for everybody, but I think that the UAE can really provide a high quality of lifestyle. So let's chat about the question that everybody has. This is always one of my most asked questions for any country, which is how many days are required to stay in the country in order to become a resident?
Okay, for example, let's focus on setting up a company as one option. Now in the UAE, you can have your own company within 24 hours. So today, for example, you arrive, so there is like an instant license. It means a couple of hours you can be like a business owner, and this license can allow you to apply for an investor visa. The visa itself normally takes like 7 to 10 working days. So to get to be like a full-time resident within the country. So I believe it's a very short, straightforward process. And yeah, this is one, I think, one of the simplest residency in the region and even like in the world. Yeah.
Awesome. So then how many days, sorry if you said it in there, how many days is going to be required? Is it 6 months? Is it 3 months?
Yeah.
Is it 9 months? What does that look like in order to actually stay a resident?
Okay, let's say for example, if you are like an investor, so the normal, like in the sticker, it says 6 months, but you are allowed to be out of the country for a year. So as an investor or as a partner in a company, you can be for a year, like once per year, you can be visiting the country. It's the same also case for long-term visas, like golden visas, as I mentioned. Also, like you can like make one visit per year, and still your visa can be valid.
Awesome. Yeah, that's good to know because that is always, I'm sure you get that question a lot as well. That's always
Yeah.
what people are looking for because they are living a very global lifestyle and they want some sort of a base, but they don't necessarily always want to stay there for a majority of the year,
Yeah,
which
I
I'm in
know.
the same
I know, like most of
makes
the Yeah, exactly. Most of the high net worth individuals, they come to Dubai, okay, like as a first or second option, but there is like a possibility you can, as you mentioned, you can have now different residencies for different reasons. I remember even during the COVID, some people they called me, they want to be residents in the UAE because certain vaccine was not available in their home countries, and they said, okay, Dubai, they are offering this type of vaccine, and they want to be residents for this reason. So the reasons, like sometimes it's not just like the number of days that you have to stay in that specific country per year, but sometimes it's more than that. So I have seen like very, we can say, different reasons. I remember one of my clients who was looking for to apply for pilgrimage in his country. There is a quota, he cannot get it. So being a resident, for example, in Dubai, can give him this straightforward option to go to pilgrimage. So it's like different reasons and behind the choice and or the decision to be resident in the UAE.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. Diverse reasons. Everybody has a different reason, even if you can't imagine it, like the COVID vaccine. Okay, so let's chat about banking in the UAE. What does that look like? Is it possible for non-residents? Is it fairly straightforward to open? What does that look like?
Yeah, I think this is a hot topic. Everyone, I believe, worldwide now, like to open a bank account, uh, especially a corporate bank account, it's a little bit, it getting a little bit tough and challenging. Most of the governments, yeah, they want like to see that you have economic substance, that you are not using that country just like an offshore option, just you want like to avoid tax or for whatever reason. So yeah, I still believe that UAE is one of the most, we cannot say easiest, but we can say most flexible jurisdiction that someone can consider to, we can say, to set up a business and also to avail this bank account option. Uh, I believe again, like if you comply, it's not like as before, like just like get a license immediately, you can have like a bank account. But still, if you show that you have a legitimate business and you again have a kind of economic substance, you show that you are seriously coming to the business in the market. Yeah, I think it's one of the best options. The banking system here is really very attractive and diverse as well.
Are you interested in becoming a global citizen and living a lifestyle by design in a country that aligns with you? If this is a lifestyle that you're seeking to create, we can help. Whether it be multiple residencies, citizenships, bank accounts, trust or company formations, we operate in 30 plus of the most tax-friendly jurisdictions around the globe to get you structured properly. Head to the link in the show notes to learn more and to get your global citizen journey underway today.
So, how does that work in terms of if you are a non-resident? Are you able to open a personal bank account, or is that not possible unless you hold residence?
No, it's always like yeah. There is also an option if you are not, let's say, resident, you can still have a non-resident account. Again, it's there are certain conditions for sure that you have to meet, but the possibility is there. You can avail this option, and yeah, so the option is there.
I love that. Yeah, banking is a big one that I see working with our clients where they just want options. And it's not necessarily that they're going to store everything they have in this one bank account, but I myself have, I think it's close to 10 different bank accounts in 10 different countries around the globe. And so people want these options where you can have some peace of mind, safety, security in a country that maybe heading in a different direction than your country that you're from.
I think,
So let's,
yeah, it's
yeah,
just
I'm
like,
sure you
sorry,
see that
like,
a lot
yeah, just like to add one point in this, like also here in the UAE, there are
too.
like, we have like over 50 banks like in the country, the normal conventional banks, and also we have the digital banks. I believe the new trend with the digital banks is less lengthy. It's more accessible to SMEs and startups, and even like the KYC is not that lengthy. So there is also like an option. So always there is an option here in the UAE, like in case if it's getting sometimes tougher in the normal, let's say, conventional banks, you can always go for the digital, and then you can find sometimes a solution for what you are looking for.
Yeah, gotta love those fintech banks. They're popping up all over the globe.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's chat about. Let me see which topic do we want next. Let's talk about the company formations in the UAE and what that looks like. A lot of people, I'm sure, who come to you, a lot of clients who inquire about the UAE for us are interested in residence via company formation. So, what does that process look like?
Okay, in the UAE, there are like, just like to highlight, there are three jurisdictions. So you have the onshore, and you have the onshore is the mainland. So it means if you are looking to do business locally, you want to set up, let's say, a company in Dubai, and your clients that are in the local markets, and then you want to trade and to do also retail business directly with the local markets. In this case, you have to open a local company. We call it like a mainland company. The good news of this option before like 2019, to have a mainland company, you have this kind of kafala system, or you have to have a local sponsor. So before, at that time, you have to have 51% versus 49 for the foreign expats. And this, like, it was a little bit a kind of hurdle. Many people, they were not feeling 100% not safe, but more not relaxed, sharing their, let's say, position of their entities, like to even like to a local partner. So the good news, like for the last 5 years, the government has waived like more than 95%, let's say, of the activities. Now you can avail the 100% foreign ownership. Majority of the economic activities are available now, and then you can do business locally in Dubai or in other Emirates. So this is something good in we can say nowadays in the UAE. This is for the mainland. For the other option is the free zone. As you know, like many people, like again, like free zone is a formula. People, they use it for before 100% foreign ownership, for the ease of doing business. It's a one-stop shop where you can have, let's say, all the facilities. If you're a trader, you can have the warehousing, you can have the land, you can have, we can say, all the administrative facilities within that authority. Yeah, in the UAE, there are again more than 50 free zones. Dubai, for example, more than 20 plus free zones. And that is also something really unique in the United Arab Emirates. The huge number of options that you can choose, like in terms of setting up a company within any free zones. Like again, for those that are not familiar, in the UAE there are 7 Emirates, and Dubai is the most famous one, but you have also the capital, Abu Dhabi, and also you have other northern Emirates, Sharjah, Ajman, Ras Al Khaimah, Fujairah, and Quwain. So all these Emirates, like they have an offer, they have a product also to cater to these aspiring entrepreneurs. So and the third option is the offshore. So those, they are not willing to do business locally, but more using that vehicle to invoice and to trade outside the UAE. So yeah, this is like in brief the jurisdictions available in the UAE.
And what option do you see is most popular with those who are coming to reside and get residence and potentially live for some amount of months each year in the UAE?
I think still, like even like the mainland, the option that even like the 100% is now is something already applicable, but still some international clients, based on what they have as well in their home countries, so immediately they start thinking of the free zone as the best option for them. So they say, okay, I want to do free zone because I don't know whether I'm going to trade locally or not. So I see the free zone for sure is a good option to start, especially for international investors. And as soon as they build up the trust, and then they see that the jurisdiction is promising, and then they want to do really business locally, sometimes they can whether expand or yeah, open a new entity in the mainland. So still like the free zone can be, I believe, is a widely used option for international investors.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, so on the back of that, let's talk about taxation. So corporate, personal, what does that look like?
Okay, this is also a hot debate, a hot topic. Like lots of people, again, the GCC from the beginning, they know that it's a tax-free jurisdiction. People, they come here because there is no tax. Good news and also like challenging news. Like now, like in the UAE, there is a corporate tax. So starting from last June 2023, there is a, however, it's still like something very attractive. So the rate is 9%. And yeah, so there is a tax now, corporate tax. Good news, still we don't have like no personal income tax. So still you can come, enjoy your work here, so you don't have to pay any personal income tax of what you are earning in the UAE. Again, lots of investors, they start asking, okay, 9%. Uh, if you compare to other, let's say, GCC countries, Qatar, Saudi, Qatar, for example, is 10%, Saudi 15%. Still, the UAE is one, I believe, one of the lowest in the world. So I believe as well, lots of people also they see it from a positive point of view because before when you set up a company in the UAE, people they start thinking, okay, you are avoiding taxes and you are in a jurisdiction like now, like with the taxes in place, it means that the choice of going to the UAE is more strategic choice, and I believe the impression that was before is now with the introduction of the tax, the corporate tax. I think it's still the market is more organized now and more I think attractive to international clients.
I'm curious your opinion, being on the ground in the UAE. I'm curious what you foresee in the medium to longer term future, the taxation looking like. Because historically, when governments implement a tax, it's never going to regress, it's never going to go back down. It's usually only going to continue. So I'm curious how what you foresee, and of course, nobody can read the future, but what you think that could potentially look like in the future for personal and corporate taxation.
This is also again, it's a hot debate. Lots of people they believe that as soon as the government has started the implementing the corporate tax, that the personal income tax will come next. Uh, for now, there is no. I don't think so. That at least for the coming few years, 5 years, I believe it's. I don't see that the question of implementing personal income tax is going to be in place. Uh, however, I think it's the jurisdiction is still moving. Lots of changes are going on. For now, like still it takes a little bit time as well. Like the introduction of the 9%, it will take a little bit time again to corporates to digest it, to understand how to file the corporate tax. So I think for the coming at least couple of years, it will and might stay in the same rate. What will be the drive, the vision like later on? So let's see. So, but again, like the market is so dynamic, and what's good in the vision of the government of the UAE, they are always working closely with the companies, and they try always to come up with the best uh, option that can be uh, from both sides. Uh, like it can be like a good revenue as well for the government, but again, more again, they want to develop the SME sector. That's why also like even the corporate tax, there are lots of incentives for startups that there are many categories that also they are exempted of paying corporate tax. So there is always like a kind of wisdom in terms of taking decisions, and Yeah, I think the with the projects going on in the region now, you find the Expo 2030 in Saudi, the World Cup, the FIFA World Cup 2034 again in KSA. I believe there are many projects going on, and still this region is so attractive to international investors.
Definitely. So the last topic that I want to touch on, and we briefly did already touch on it, but maybe going into a little bit further detail, is investment opportunities.
Yeah, it's like lots of people when they come here, like there are a lot of sectors that thriving. Like UAE before many years back, especially Dubai, they have adopted the strategy to diversify their economy, not just rely on oil revenues. So now there are like many sectors that they are well developed and can be really attractive to international investors. One of them is real estate. Dubai, like from the beginning, projects like Burj Khalifa, Palm Jumeirah, Dubai Marina. So these are one of the first projects that many international investors have taken the risk, and then they have seen like a big return of on investments. So I believe real estate for sure and property development is one of the thriving sectors in the UAE. And also I see tourism is also one of the very, we can say, dynamic. Again, after the COVID, the population has increased in Dubai. Lots of people has moved, has chosen the city to be their primary location and residency. So, and also, like, since we're speaking about the digital, the fintech industry is so booming as well. By the introduction of the free zones like the IFC, the Dubai International Free Zones, and ADGM, Abu Dhabi Global Markets. So there are many startups. So it's like a startup hub. So many startups are now opting to be in the UAE because of the incentives, because of the we can say the ecosystem that has been developed well in this region. So to go on and go on, there are many, I believe, like there are many opportunities. You have also education, training. So the what's good in this region is not just UAE. Also, we can combine KSA and Qatar. So the population is still young. The potential is really huge. And again, like you are speaking about a market that is stable. Stability is very important, whether it's political or it's economic. Yeah.
Yeah, so important. I'm glad that you threw that in at the end. Well, I mean, there's a lot more that we could touch on this topic, but before we end off, is there any last words about the UAE, Dubai, anywhere else in that region that you really want to touch on?
Yeah, I believe, yeah, for our audience, like the region is really very interesting region for those that have never, especially from South America. If you have never been to the country, so just give it a try. Initially, just come for a visit, and believe me, you will easily fall in love. It's really a land of opportunities, and I believe it's a region that should be watched out and followed. Yeah.
Love it. So, last question on that topic. Talk to us quickly a little bit about the climate and when you should be visiting and when you probably should stay away.
Exactly. Yeah. This is also like everyone is like, like you are in the Middle East. It's the Sahara, let's say the desert, and for sure there are certain months that it's really I can say it's we cannot say that it's not supported, but it's really like it's really hot. I do advise my clients that the temperature is getting nicer, cooler, like starting from the month of October. So the best period and months to visit. Especially for those they don't like really the high heat. October till this year, like we are still till May. Even like you have heard like there were like storms and heavy rains and I believe like October till April May. In terms of cool weather, it's really nice. You can be outdoor. You can enjoy walking and having, let's say, outdoor activities. Apart from that, like there are also people they like the summer, a little bit high summer is a little bit hot, but yeah, it's I've seen many tourists they come again, like even if it's hot, they try to enjoy the weather, especially if they're coming from a cold temperature.
Yeah, amazing. Awesome. Well, this has been a really interesting discussion. We touched on many different of the hot topics and the popular questions that I'm sure you get from those who are looking to relocate, start a company, potentially just bank there and have some additional options. So, where can people find you?
Yeah, so I'm based in Dubai. So if you need any questions, so Nicole, you have all my details. So we'll be more than happy to collaborate. And yeah, so I can be your advisor. I can assist you with all the formalities to enter the market. And and this is the purpose of this discussion. First, to make things look a little bit clear for those they have the hesitation, they want to try something new. I believe this region, as again, is really a dynamic region. There are many opportunities to tap. It's just a matter that you have to take the risk and yeah, give it a try, and you will not regret it. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that you're based there. So you really know the ins and outs so well. You've been doing this for so many years. So if you are interested in learning more, in getting some more details and potentially setting up your banking, your company formation, getting your residence underway, investment options, then reach out to us.
You've just listened to the Work, Wealth, and Travel podcast. If anything from this episode resonated with you, I would appreciate if you share this podcast on your socials. And of course, be sure to tag me. And don't forget to leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. Thank you for joining me on this global citizen journey, and I'll see you in the next episode.